Alright, so we went through all of our testing phases for seeding media. I have decided to stick with pea gravel for seeding, for throwing seeds in, starting stuff like leeks, which these are just sitting here, keeping them wet, keeping them moist until such time as I finish planting stuff out. I've only got a few seedlings I'm going to put in here right now, 3 little lettuces, a cilantro, a few other things over in the other grow bed I'm going to move that are in these little black pots. Once that's in, I'll probably come back in with some seeds and put some more in here, just let them come out, such stuff like radishes. I'm going to get some okra started, which I hadn't done yet, unfortunately, because my whole family loves okra, myself included, and we just hadn't got it going yet. So that's one of the things I'll be trying soon, and then see if I can transplant it easily enough into the lava rock. Now, just to show you what I've done. Basically, I came off the side of one of my grow beds here, and there you can see the framing there, I hope. Excuse me. And anyway, just built kind of a metal wood hybrid frame to hold this thing in place. Again, I'm still testing just to make sure this thing's going to work. What I've done is take my inlet pipe that was going over to the other aluminum pan that we were worried about, because, and we were warned, hey, you know, this aluminum, when your acidity goes up in your system, as your pH drops, you're going to end up with a situation where that acid's going to start eating away that aluminum, and it's going to leach into the water. It's bad for the fish, it's bad for the plants, it's bad for the people. So we have pulled that out now and moved on to a plastic, and believe it or not, for this, it's just a kitty litter bin that I got at Lowe's for about $2 on clearance, just to test and see if it works. Now I've got another one that's not a kitty litter bin. It's a much more sturdy platform, or tote rather. It's about the same size, and if this works out, I'll either add it on, or I'll pull this one out and put that one in its place and make it permanent. So that's something we'll just be watching over the next month or so, see how it goes, and I will be updating as we go to show you the growth and how things are going. The difference between this one and what we have been doing is we're not going to use pots anymore. We're going to direct seed, or we're going to put our starts for onions, garlic. Well, garlic we probably won't do. It does real good in the grow bed. But our leeks, our onions, and stuff like that, maybe even celery, we'll start right here. And then as it gets going, we'll pull that back out, and we will move it into a grow bed in the appropriate spot. Same thing with everything else, beans or whatever we start. We're going to direct seed here and then move it out and see how it does. Now, on some things, such as beans, if we run into a problem with hurting those plants when we move them, we'll start direct seeding out into the lava rock, and we'll make a note of that, and I'll update you guys. That way you know, hey, don't seed here, go to the grow bed with it, because it works better. I just dumped my cilantro out just to getting ready to plant it here, and I just wanted to show you, and I'm hoping you can see it, the root that's on this. It's really long. I probably got a longer root than I do height in a plant. And that's very important when you're planting these things, or when you're getting ready to transplant. I ended up with 2 in there. I didn't realize I had 2. I thought I only had 1. This one's a little puny, and it looks like it may not be cilantro. It may be a lettuce, but still, the root is much longer than the plant, and that's a really good thing. That means it's been getting goodies down in the little black pots, doing what it's supposed to do. In other words, our system's working. Now again, I'm fixing to transplant this into our new grow medium in this new bed, and we'll see how it does over the course of the next couple of weeks. And like I said, I'll keep you updated on everything. And I'm going to stop this video, get these planted, and then I'm going to pull this lettuce out, and I'll show you the same thing. We'll look at the roots and see how they've been doing. Okay, just to show you how well this media works as far as separating it from the roots, I went ahead and just dumped the lettuce out so you could see. I'm hoping you can see that. I know it's getting a little dark here. There's our roots. We've got a nice amount of roots there. Sorry, I know I'm not doing real good with the camera, but we got good roots on this one. So I'm very happy with that. Set it over here. You'll see the cilantro's in. If they're both cilantro, great. If not, then I've got something other than cilantro. Got our leeks in. I hope I've done this right. We'll see. I had a failure of all but one of my onions that I planted a few weeks back that I cut off the same way. The one that came up, I didn't realize what it was. It was in one of my seeding pots. It came up. I was transplanting some other stuff out of that pot, and I killed it. So you'll get used to that with me. I love to kill stuff. Very good at it. But let's just dig out in here, and I'll show you how easily this lettuce is coming out. Look at that. Doesn't have a great root system on it, but hopefully here in the next week it will have. And what I really love about this, you can dig through these rocks and you won't find any of these roots or very little of these roots left behind. There's, I mean, if you can see that, there's no roots in it, and that's what I just dumped out. There's one little piece right there that came from one of them. It's going to happen. You're going to lose some roots, but you don't want it to be a massive loss. So I'm going to go ahead and get these 3 planted, and then I got one other plant over here to plant that's in a pot. I'm not even sure what it is. It's having a really hard time in that pot. It may not survive. In fact, let me just show it to you. That's it right there. It's very tiny, as you can see, size of my thumbnail. I'm hoping it's got a better root system than what it's showing on the top. So if it does, maybe it'll come on out and do well. If not, it'll die and we'll plant something else. Anyway, I'll talk to you in a few minutes. Okay, got all of our seedlings in, got our leek in. If anybody's got any pointers on what I should do better for the leek, please let me know. I'm not embarrassed to say there's things I don't know, and happy for any advice I get from anyone. And it doesn't matter how new you are, please speak up, because anyone can come up with a good idea that'll work better. Doesn't matter how new you are to it or anything like that. Just please speak up, let me know, I'll try it. Don't ask me to do anything weird like run naked through the garden, because I probably won't do that. Too many mosquitoes. Anyway, let's go through this. I've got one lonely chive, which over here we've got a bunch of chives we bought from a local nursery, stuck them in. We've harvested this twice, and in the last harvest I accidentally pulled one out. So I've been just trying to nurse that back to health. They say they do better when they're planted in bunches. I've got one here. I'm just trying to keep it alive, and hopefully at some point I'll be able to move it back into the main bed with the rest of them. Here's our 3 lettuces. There's the smallest, next one the biggest, which had a really nice root ball on it. I think those are both cilantro. I know the big one is. I tasted it just to make sure, because that's the way I am. Since I don't mark anything, a lot of times I get the taste test to find out what I got, which is wonderful, especially with the basil. I love that. Tomatoes are pretty obvious, so you don't have to taste that. But if you look around out here, you see I've got lettuces just all over the place, and that's primarily, that's what the system wants when it's this immature. This system is not that old. Those of you that have been following along, you know how old it is, because you've watched the videos, seen the pictures. Still very excited about it. It's doing a really great job. You'll notice my corn, you can almost see through the leaves, and that's just a sign of lack of iron and an immature system. Is it going to produce corn cobs? Probably not. Who cares? It's the idea of growing something. I'm happy about that. All right, back to this new seeding media that we put together. Of course, you know we've got our inlet pipe coming here, draining out right here, which I'll move it back over to this side over here, just to make it as far as it can be back to our drain and get as much goodies trapped in this rock as we can as far as worm poo. And you'll notice I've got some lava rock here. Now, this lava rock does not go very deep, and all I put it in here for, I'm hoping you can see down in there, you see my little drain pipe, that is just to keep this pea gravel from going through that drain pipe, because when I first started putting stuff in here as far as gravel goes and had water running, I was starting to suck a little pea gravel in there, and just to stop that I stuck that lava rock in there just to kind of give us a screen to stop this pea gravel, which it's working really well. As far as I know, there's been little or no more pea gravel go through. This is that little scrony plant I talked about. Whether or not it's going to come back out or not, I don't know. It had a very small root on it, but it's very tough, so we'll see. We're just going to have to wait and see. Anyway, folks, that's about it for tonight. Fixing to call it tonight, go in and see what the ladies are cooking for dinner, and go from there. Again, yesterday we put our trellises up. We pulled our tomatoes up on them, which are very leggy, so I've been picking blossoms off of it and also cutting back some of the older growth. I'd let this new growth come on out and do its thing, and hopefully these plants will bulk up. I did dig down today into my lava rock just to look at roots, and I've got really good root systems on it. It's just the plant itself has not bulked up yet, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. Other than that, yeah, we're real happy. Having issues with my fish. They're not wanting to eat anything but live bait, being worms, which I'm feeding them, but I'm also going with pellets also. They're just now starting to go up and hit the pellet, but they won't take it. So hopefully in another week or so they'll start to take the dry food, and I can back off this live bait. Make my girls happy because they hate touching the worms. Another quick look. a little more on this drain. Let me touch up on this drain a little bit. And you'll notice I stacked lava rock on top of it. So you can see the pea gravel that came out when I first got started. But this is just draining out from here. No big deal. Very simple. Nothing complex. And it's basically an inlet for the grow bed that's coming out of my seeding media. And that's basically what I'd done before with the old testing seeding media. That was the aluminum. Just had a hole knocked in it, draining out into the bed. This time I used a pipe because I do have some separation here, just to get me back over into it and make sure that I drain directly into the bed. And I'm as far away from my auto siphon as I can be. It's catty corner from me, so, and that's what you want. And the reason I say that is you want as much fish poo to drop right here as you can get, and then as it goes across, it filters across towards that siphon. If you had this over by your auto siphon, if it was draining right at the auto siphon, what would happen, or if it was near it, you'd end up sucking all your fish poo back out into your sump tank or pump tank, and you wouldn't have any goodies left in your grow bed. You would eventually, but for good movement through the grow bed, you want to have your inlet on one side and your outlet on the other side as far away. Whether you're a constant flow, timed flood and drain, auto siphon, whatever you're dealing with, you want to be as far away from your drain with your inlet as you can be. That way things move through. Now with deep water culture or DWC or NFT, things are different. I haven't worked with those systems yet, so I can't say. But for the media beds like we're doing here, this, as far as I know, is the very best setup. Anyway, folks, I'm going to let this one go for the night, get in and upload these videos, and hopefully you've seen something here that'll help. Remember, we did the tank down here this morning, or yesterday, adding volume to our system. It's working beautifully. I've tested as much as I can, trying to put as much water into all the beds, as much water as I could into the fish tank, as much water as I could into the media seeding, which I've added a little bit more here. I've got more volume now. But we'll watch that overnight and see what happens, make sure we don't run out of water in the pump tank. I doubt I will because, well, it's just not likely. And we'll go from there. Anybody have any questions? Feel free to post them, any comments. Want to complain at me, that's fine too. The complaints are actually really helpful. Gives me ideas to do something a little different. If you want to join us on Facebook, just get on Facebook and type in True Aquaponics and search, and it'll find us. And we hope to see you there. Please join our group. Have a great evening.